We all know that parenting is hard enough. I know we've all been challenged by our own children, but what about pushback from your spouse or co-parent? Vicki Hoefle is a parenting coach and author. Her latest book tackles these struggles. It's called Parenting as Partners: How to Launch Your Kids Without Ejecting Your Spouse. So happy to have Vicki joining us this morning on The Night. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You know, your book makes such a good point that spouses or co-parenters should talk about how I was parented and how you were parented, because that's what he's bringing to the table, as am I.
Exactly. I think when our kids are very young, we kind of agree that we both want to be involved, and we have this kind of euphoric honeymoon
Best
attitude.
Parents ever.
Exactly. And then this strange thing happens. The children's personalities begin to emerge, and we have to start making unified decisions, but suddenly our own history, our own childhood history, starts to influence those decisions.
Is it important to sit down and have a conversation with your partner about what each other's parenting philosophies are? Should that happen?
I think it's paramount to really enjoying the parenting journey with your partner, is if you can really discuss first, kind of in a broad sense, what was your experience like? What were your highs and lows? What kind of parent do you want to be? And then explore kind of specific areas where you think your ideas might clash, perhaps.
Yeah, these are the things we never talk about when we're, courting our partner, because you don't kind of look far enough down the road to say, hey, I might be raising kids with this person. But do different backgrounds make a difference in how much agreement there is?
Absolutely. If you have a really strong idea of something you loved or found distasteful in your own family, you're going to really fight for that. And if you can't articulate that in a really constructive way so that your partner can hear it and help you kind of move past it, it can become a point of contention that really wreaks havoc on the marriage and then on your parenting.
In the days leading up to your joining us on The Nine, I was asking people in our newsroom, who's the dominant parent? And a lot of people struggled with that. I'll say, I happily relinquish many duties to my husband to be a dominant parent in our home structure. Is it okay for there to be one who's dominant, or should it be 50-50?
I think there's always somebody who either it just comes more naturally to them, or they feel more comfortable making on-the-spot decisions. And I think acquiescing and saying, I'm going to support you the majority of the time, but when I feel really strongly about something, I want to be able for us to sit down and really hash it out and come together as a team to make the best decision for our children.
How important is it to get away with just your partner and have date nights out? I mean, I know that, believe it or not, there's someone in the newsroom who says, I never get away. I'm always with the kids. And I always say, well, why don't you?
Yeah. I think it's imperative, because here's what really gets parents to accept this as a significant notion. Your kids are watching you as a couple, and they're learning how to be a couple by how much time you spend together, and that you make your relationship a priority. So I'm all for date nights.
Well, but the excuse that this one person in the newsroom might give her husband is that the very little children need me. You're fine. You can take care of yourself, and we'll just reconnect in 10 years when they're in college.
It's that immediate need they have that you have to meet.
I think sometimes there's this idea that the kids need us more than they really do, and we let that influence our decisions. So I say, whether they need you or not, it's good to take a break, rekindle your relationship, and keep that love and spark and passion, because it's going to make you a better parent at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's true. You're modeling, how a spouse teaches, how you treat a spouse.
Absolutely.
And so the best strategy is just to kind of carve out maybe a certain amount of time, every week, I
think you do it two ways. You get 10-15 minutes every week that's really concentrated on the two of you, and do something a little out of the ordinary, not just let's have a glass of wine, but take a bubble bath and then extend that and make it a bigger treat.
Okay, you heard it here. Thank you so much. Vicki Hoefle, the book is Parenting as Partners: How to Launch Your Kids Without Ejecting Your Spouse. I read this all, but I think I'll read it again. Thank you so much for joining us here on The Nine. We will be right back. I'm surprised my husband isn't texting me already. It's just so hard because I think they need me.